Yeah. Hare Krishna. So since many members are on either vacation or yatras, we thought we'll give pause to our regular session for a week and continue our Madhya Leela, Chaitanya Caritamrta Madhya Leela from next week onwards, so that more devotees will come. It's more auspicious for us to start or complete Adilila and start Madhya Leela. Madhya Leela has a lot of very important pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we'll start Madhya Leela from next week, and we are going to have a special session on understand the logic of absolute truth today. So let me share the screen. Is the screen visible to all?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Correct. So as I said, this is very useful for the preachers, sadhakas, and even for those who are in the initial stage of Krishna consciousness, Bhakti Viksha members. But they know why we have to believe or what is the basis for us to believe the absolute truth, understand the absolute truth. Jaya Jaya Jagata Mangala Gaura Chandra Dana Deha Hridaye Tumara Padadvandva. All glories to Gaurachandra, the benefactor of the entire universe. O Lord, please place your lotus feet within my heart. Chaitanya Bhagavata, Madhya Leela, 18th chapter, first verse. Jaya Jaya Nityananda Swarupera Prana, Jaya Jaya Bhakta Vatsala Gunadhama. All glories to the life and soul of Nityananda Swarupa. All glories to the Lord, who is affectionate to his devotees and who is the abode of all good qualities. So further in Chaitanya Caritamrta Adilila, first chapter, third verse, they mentioned about the glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What the Upanishads describe as the impersonal Brahman is but the effulgence of his body, and the Lord known as Supersoul is but his localized plenary portion. Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, full with six opulences. He is the absolute truth, and no other truth is greater than or equal to him. In Chaitanya Caritamrta Adilila, we also read about, we discussed about this very important sloka in first chapter, fifth verse. Radha Krishna Pranaya Kritir Haladir Shaktirasmat Ekat Manav Api Bhavi Pura Deha Bhedam Katautau Chaitanyakyam Prakatam Adhuna Tadvayam Chaikyam Aptam Radha Bhavadu Yuti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, previously they separated themselves. Now these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. So, even for us, those into Krishna consciousness, like for example, my own case, many years even after coming to Krishna consciousness, still the kind of feeling was there in my heart that Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, is okay, fine, we can understand that. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that kind of feeling or samshaya, doubt. It's always there in the heart. Even after many years of Krishna consciousness, of course not now, even many years of Krishna consciousness, this kind of a feel was there. Because we, those who born in India, so we know about Krishna. And of course, there are a lot of faiths, a lot of sects who believe in different personalities as a Supreme Lord. So within that, there are, of course, many Hindus, they are aware of Krishna at least. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was hardly known to many, even today. Mainly in South India, this problem is there, that many are not even aware of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, first of all, having a faith that Krishna himself is Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is difficult. And now, over and above, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada, when he went to Western countries, so he directly started propagating Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it was shocking for all his disciples, who are all, they don't even know, they don't even realize that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, here is Srila Prabhupada, who is propagating Lord Chaitanya's glories. This Lord Chaitanya is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is even much bigger bouncer for them. But they accepted. When moment they accepted Srila Prabhupada's words, the entire thing is started revealing to them in their heart. So, very first and prominent requirement is to first accept what spiritual master says, accept what Shastras are saying, and why. Now, the question comes: why should I accept? What is the logic behind it? What is the logic behind Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead? What is the logic behind Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Personality of Godhead? So we'll try to discuss how many kinds of logics are there given by Shastras, and why, and under what logic we can understand the supremacy of the Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. So for that, we need to pray for the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. May the Supreme Lord, who is known as son of Srimati Sachi Devi, be transcendental, situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. Resplendent with a radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. So here is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shastras are revealing, Acharyas are revealing that purpose of his appearance. He appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before. Because every incarnation in the past, we read in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Lagu Bhagavatamrita, and all other scriptures talks about Lord's various incarnations. And the purpose, each incarnation has a different purpose. Like Lord Nrsimhadev comes to kill Hiranyakashipu, right? Lord Rama comes to kill Ravana. So each incarnation has a specific purpose. Lord comes and he kills that Asura and protects the devotees, and he goes back to his abode. But here is the wonderful incarnation, the magnanimous incarnation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has appeared in this age of Kali for the purpose which no other incarnation has ever offered to us. He is straight away directly giving the mellow of devotional service. Just by accepting the fruit of the devotional service, what he is offering to us, We don't have to do anything. Simply accept and honor it. That's it. We are on the way to go back home, back to Godhead. Such a simple process. Nirbandham yukta vistare mayatra parimunchita pradhanatvat pramaneshu shabda eva pramanyate. In this presentation, I will avoid becoming entangled in logical proofs. I will depend on scriptural authority as evidence because it is the most important means of acquiring knowledge. Srila Bhagavatamrita, Srila Rupa Goswami highlights this point. So he says that Lord's appearance, Lord incarnations, Lord's pastimes is beyond any logical proofs. If someone is trying to prove the pastime of the Lord by a logic, he will be failed. A simple, forget about even keep pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu aside. Even Krishna, when he was born in this, appeared in this material world, the end of the Dwapar Yuga, he lifted Govardhana hill with the little finger of his left hand. It is beyond logic. He killed Putana. He killed Kamsa. He killed so many asuras. All appears to be beyond logic. If we try to prove that how a little boy of a small 5 years old, he is trying to lift the Govardhana hill, or he is lifting Govardhana hill, what logic can prove? So it is beyond any logics. So Rupa Goswami says that first we should avoid becoming entangled in logical proofs when it comes to pastimes of Supreme Lord. Because Krishna or any of his incarnations are beyond logic. Why? Because logic means we are using our mind. To understand by the help of logic means we are trying to understand by using our mind. So what is the mind? It is purely matter. So by help of a matter, how it is possible to understand which is beyond matter. So every matter itself has so many defects, as we all know. So it is impossible for any of us to understand the spirit by the help of mind, which is pure matter. But the mind becomes spiritual. There is a process that acharyas have given. But here we are trying to, Rupa Goswami is trying to highlight to us that if one wants to understand the supremacy of the Lord, one wants to understand the pastimes of the Lord, so he should stop getting entangled in the logical proofs. He says that I will depend on scriptural authority as evidence because it is the most important means of acquiring knowledge. So let us see what kind of logics we are talking about here. Generally, when we came into Krishna consciousness, we were all told about 3 different pramanas, the logics. I'm sure every one of us aware of this. Pratyaksha pramana, Anumana pramana, Shabda pramana. But actually, the logics, pramanas are beyond these 3. So why we are not discussing about other 5? Why 3? And from there, why we stick to only the 1, which is Shabda pramana, is what we are going to understand today. So this helps for us to preach neophyte devotees, new devotees who are coming to Krishna consciousness, make them understand the logic of understanding Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are 8 different pramanas, the logics, as per the scriptures. So we all know about Pratyaksha pramana. So we heard about this in our initial days of Krishna consciousness when we were attending Bhakti Vriksha or Shiksha Guru, how he has explained to us about the Pratyaksha Pramana, how we can rule out the Pratyaksha Pramana for us to understand or to progress in devotional service. We understood, we heard about this during our initial days of Krishna consciousness. So Pratyaksha Pramana is the knowledge by interaction between senses and sense object. So it's very clear. So Pratyaksha Pramana is what we see. Seeing is believing. So it is an interaction between the senses and sense object. So I see the eyes, our eyes sees something. Oh, it is there here. I see the pot. The pot is here. So yes, pot is existing. So that is the confirmation because we are seeing it. So Acharyas explained that this knowledge is because of interaction between the sense and sense object. When we practically, physically see the sense object, we believe. We start believing that yes, this object exists. So that is Pratyaksha Pramana. So next one is Anumana Pramana. Knowledge by inference. So this is, we try to relate by using our mind. We try to guess by using our mind. Here, it refers to Anumana Pramana refers to gaining knowledge by inference. According to Gautama Rishi's method of analysis, one makes inference when one detects a concrete instance of general truth. Here he gives example of when a person sees smoke far away, say behind mountains, some smoke is coming. And you say, oh, there is a fire behind the mountains. So this is Anumana Pramana, inference. So we try to infer from the situation. Smoke means smoke cannot come, smoke cannot exist unless there is a fire behind it. So this is a logic behind our guess. It may be true, may not be true. Sometimes the smoke may be something else. But Anumana Pramana, as per the logic what we apply, the smoke is because of the fire behind the mountain. So here the followers of Gautama Rishi, they say that a particular indicator is not present in any situation where some essential conjugative factor does not occur. So it means that there has to be something for the smoke to come, smoke to exist. So this is inference. So this is Anumana Pramana, which we are aware of. Then we also discussed about Shabda Pramana, the logic of understanding the knowledge by hearing from an authority. So this, we all know, this is a most important Pramana which we follow, our Acharyas follow. So this Shabda Pramana is based on learning from the words of a trustworthy authority. So example given was, one who has experience may tell someone else, 5 palm trees grow on the bank of that river. Like somebody who saw, say for example, there is a war happening between Russia and Ukraine. We didn't see. Somebody told, and somebody broadcasting in television. So we believe. Somebody saw that, and they are telling us that, oh, President of America is so and so, or President of Russia is so and so. We don't know. We've not seen them, but someone who has seen them is telling us, so we are believing. So this is Shabda Pramana. These are the three pramanas which generally we know. So there is nothing much to discuss at this stage. And we'll come back to these three pramanas towards the end of the session again. So the fourth pramana, as per the Shastras, is Upamana. Upamana, logic of Upamana. This is knowledge by comparison. So it means knowing by comparison. For example, one may say that that particular animal is like a cow. So he is explaining to someone who has not seen that the particular animal. He is saying, I saw that animal in the forest. That animal exactly looks like a cow. So the person who is hearing will imagine the cow's form, and he'll relate it to that the new animal which this gentleman has seen. Because I didn't see, but somebody has seen, and he's comparing. Because if he says that, oh, it has got a 4 legs and something like that, then he will not be able to understand. So he is comparing with something which I already saw. I know about that animal. I know about the cow, how cow looks like. So I am trying to compare the form of the cow with the new animal, what he is describing or he is trying to describe. So here it is, this is called Upamana. Upamana means, in Sanskrit, Upamana means comparison. So thus, by comparison, one understands the connection between the name of the new animal which he is describing. A person thus informed may recognize the animal when he visits the forest. When he goes to the forest, when he sees that animal, he will immediately say, oh, that gentleman had told me that this looks like a cow. Yeah, he is right. It exactly looks like a cow. But it's not a cow. Because someone has explained to him, someone has compared and told him how that animal looks like. So that this gentleman, when he goes to the forest, he will be able to see, he will be able to compare, he will be able to remember what he has compared before and understand about the new animal. Says, yes, this exactly looks like a cow. So this was Upamana Pramana, what Shastra explains. And fifth Pramana is Arthapati. Arthapati Pramana is knowledge one gains by presumption drawn from circumstances to explain a phenomenon. So what it is? Unless one explains from the circumstances, this point cannot be understood. For instance, example given by Acharyas, Rupa Goswami, is that Devadatta is a plump, even though he never eats during the day. So a gentleman is very fat. Even it says that, even suppose Ramananda Prabhu is very fat, even though he doesn't eat anything in the day. So it means what? What is that we are trying to understand? What we are trying to presume, that he doesn't eat anything in the day, but he eats in the night. So by Arthapati, one presumes that Devadatta must be eating in the night. So this is a presumption drawn from the circumstance to explain a phenomenon. So I'm not saying the gentleman is not explaining that Devadatta is eating in the night. He says that he's a fat. He doesn't eat anything in the daytime. I never saw him eating in the daytime. Means that he must be eating in the night. Otherwise, how he will become a fat? So just like that, no one becomes fat. Of course, there is so many reasons. But here, this particular logic talks about or presumption. So that's why this presumption may go wrong, because he may not be eating in the night. Maybe he's become fat for different reason, maybe some genetical reason or from some health condition. So this logic may not stand. Logic may not be right. because we may be assuming the wrong presumption. Maybe true, may or may not be true. So knowledge by presumption drawn from a circumstance to explain a particular phenomena is called Arthapati. So the next sixth pramana, sixth logic is Anupalabdhi. Anu-upalabdhi. Upalabdhi means existence of something. Anupalabdhi means absence of something. Knowledge by understanding the absence of something. So, example given for this by Acharyas is that I saw the pot here yesterday. It is missing. So it means the one whom he is explaining will try to visualize the pot there. Yesterday this pot was here, but today it is missing. So this is when one knows the absence of a pot on a certain piece of ground because one cannot see the pot there now. This is Anupalabdhi. So knowledge by understanding the absence of something is Anupalabdhi. So it can be anything. Just to give example about the pot, it can be anything. I was telling, oh, this furniture was there yesterday, but today room is empty. So the person whom is telling, he will think, oh, he will visualize, oh, furniture was here yesterday. So he has not seen. Yesterday he didn't see. He didn't see the furniture before. But the one who saw the furniture yesterday is explaining that, oh, the furniture is missing here. So that is Anupalabdhi. The next logic, pramana, is Sambhava. Knowledge about occurrence, which includes another occurrence. Sambhava. Sambhava means happening in Sanskrit. So this is a knowledge about occurrence of something which includes another occurrence. So example given was, suppose I have 100 rupee note with me. It means that includes 10 rupees. It means that I have 10 rupees also, I have 5 rupees also, I have 50 rupees also. So I don't have to explain that I have 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 3 rupee, 99 rupees, then 100 rupees. When I say 100 rupees, means I have all the denominations or all the amounts below 100, not exact denominations, but I have the money. What money I have is includes 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 100. So this is knowledge about occurrence, which includes another occurrence. So they explained the same, that 100 includes 10. The number 100 includes 10. That is obvious. That is Sambhava. Okay. The last pramana is Aitihya. Aitihya pramana. Logic of Aitihya. The knowledge obtained from tradition or belief whose original speaker is not remembered. This is generally we hear in villages or general customs we follow. When we are going out, we see a black cat. Oh, our elders said that it is not auspicious. I don't know who has told that. I don't know who was the originator of that theory. Or seeing a cat, a black cat, when we are going out on an auspicious work, that becomes inauspicious. There is no originator for this. I don't know who is the author for this. Similarly, the example given here was that this house, there's a ghost living. I was told, someone told me that the ghost is living in this house. Someone, who is that someone, we don't know. Generally, we use this even in our lectures also. This somebody has told, some devotee has told. So we don't know the originator of that theory. Some story we say Akbar Birbal story, someone has told, but we don't know whether that really happened. That story of between Akbar and Birbal really happened, or it's only picked up story. We don't know because we don't know the original speaker, or we don't remember the original speaker. So Aitihya refers to information obtained from a tradition whose original speaker is not remembered. So this is Aitihya. Now coming to the logic which we are supposed to follow and why we are not supposed to follow other logics. Now we knew about all the first three logics we heard so many times. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Anumana Pramana, Shabda Pramana. Then who follows these Pramanas? There are people, there are sects of people who are following all these Pramana even today. Some of the Pramanas are being followed by a certain class of people. Who are they? And what is the logic behind their following? And why? What is the logic for Vaishnavas to follow? Vaishnavas, not only Shabda Pramana, Vaishnavas follow other Pramanas also. And from that, we follow only Shabda Pramana. Why? That we are trying to understand. This is the whole purpose of today's presentation, to bring down these logics to one, which is Shabda Pramana, and eliminate all other logics by using a logic. So let us see who uses what. Pratyaksha Pramana is used by Lokaitaka school of Charvaka Muni. So the followers of Charvaka Muni, they use the Pratyaksha Pramana. Why? Because this is explained by Baldev Vidyabhushan. Baldev Vidyabhushan explains that okay, that will come to later. Why we need to eliminate that? We'll discuss later. But Lokaita school of Pramana is used by this Pratyaksha Pramana is used by Lokaita school of Charvaka Muni, because they believe only in what they see, what they hear, what they infer, and everything is illogical for them. So unless seeing is believing, this is their philosophy. Seeing is believing is a philosophy of followers of Charvaka Muni. So this is Pratyaksha Pramana. Then Pratyaksha and Anumana Pramana both together are followed by Vaisheshika school of physical analysis. So the followers of Vaisheshika school of physical analysis, they believe both Pratyaksha Pramana and Anumana Pramana. So we see here there are certain things which are beyond logic. We know that what we see may not be true any time, most of the time. So we see in the desert, we see that there is a water. So this is illusion, the senses we creates to us, and we can't see beyond the wall. We all know this, but there are some personalities still follow this in respect to individual pramanas. So this is Pratyaksha and Anumana together, followed by Vaisheshika school of physical analysis. And these three together, Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda Pramana, followed by Sankhya philosophers and Patanjala yogis. So for them, Shabda Pramana is important, because the Sankhya philosophers, they hear from the predecessors, the acharyas, what the scriptures are talking about. So believe in Shabda also, but they don't stop believing Pratyaksha and Anumana. So they accept Pratyaksha Pramana also and Shabda also. This is Sankhya philosophers and Patanjali yogi followers. Logicians of Gautama school, they believe in first three plus Upamana Pramana. So they believe in even something which is compared, Upamana. When we are comparing with we discussed all Upamana. Upamana means, example, we discussed about a gentleman who was talking about an animal which he saw in the forest. He's comparing that with a cow. So that logic also accepted by followers of Gautama school. So they say that because somebody has seen it, it must be true. So why that person will tell stories? And later when I saw, I also agree that this cow, this animal was looking like a cow. So it was right. So they accept even this logic of Upamana also. Then the proponents of Mimamsa school of Vedic hermeneutics, the followers of Vedas, they believe all the 6 pramanas, Pratyaksha, Anumana, Shabda, Upamana, and also Arthapatti, Anupalabdhi. Because they say it is practical, it is logical that knowledge by presumption drawn from circumstances, like we heard of Devadatta is fat even if he's not eating. So it is logical that if without eating, how a person can become a fat. So I'm sure that he must be eating in the night. So they accept that philosophy, they accept that logic. And also they accept the logic of knowledge by understanding absence of something. So that also, he saw that pot yesterday here, now he is not there. Means I'm sure that he must have seen the pot. So why to disbelieve him? He must be right. So that logic also they accept. So it is when we think, yes, it is logical. Somebody has seen it and telling, so it must be there. Many times we also accept this. And advocates of Puranic teachings, they accept all these 8 logics, including Pratyaksha, Anumana, Shabda, Upamana, Arthapatti, Anupalabdhi, Sambhava, and Aitihya. All these 8 logics were accepted by advocates of Puranic teachings. So it doesn't mean that we also advocates of Puranic teachings, but what is our stand that we are going to see? This is those who blindly, without understanding the relevance of the essence of what Puranas are saying, what they read, what they hear, what they understand is right for them. For them, all these 8 logics are true. They accept all these 8 logics. Now, what is the position of Vaishnava Vedantists? So this is important for us. What is the position of Vaishnavas, the followers of Vaishnavism? What is their position and why? That is very important to understand. Why Vaishnavas will not accept some of the pramanas, some of the logics. So here Baldev Vidyabhushan talks about why Upamana Pramana is not considered as a proper logic. Because Upamana Pramana should not be considered as a separate Pramana as per Baldev Vidyabhushana, because it is a special application of direct perception. It is comparison, knowledge by comparison. So what is Upamana Pramana? Upamana Pramana, we saw that I saw that animal, it looked like a cow. Means it is not something different from Pratyaksha. He saw, he is comparing. Because he saw that, so that already came into Pratyaksha Pramana. So Upamana Pramana is not relevant. So that Baldev Vidyabhushana says this logic is not applicable for Vaishnavas. So it's already included. So he's eliminating one by one based on certain facts, not certain logic, certain facts. So Pratyaksha Upamana already he saw that. So Pratyaksha already exists. Upamana has no relevance. So Upamana has gone. Next, Baldev Vidyabhushana talks about Arthapatti. Why Arthapatti is not relevant? He says knowledge is presumption drawn from circumstances to explain a phenomenon. So then he says that Arthapatti, Baldev Vidyabhushan explains that it is also not a separate means of knowing, since it is a kind of Anumana Pramana, referred to as Kevala Vyatireki, or exclusively negative inference. Sometimes positive inference also may be there. So here it is based on Anumana Pramana. Devadatta is fat, though he is not eating anything during the day. So there Anumana Pramana comes that, oh, he must be eating in the night. So it is a logic. So Arthapata, Baldev Vidyabhushan says, Arthapata already has covered by Anumana Pramana. So he is guessing it, he is inferring it. A smoke without fire cannot happen. The fat person, even though he's not eating in the daytime, cannot become fat. He must be eating in the night. That is the inference. So he says that since it's already included in the Anumana Pramana, this logic should be avoided. So that logic is gone. Now, third logic he is removing is Anupalabdhi. Knowledge by understanding the absence of something. What is Anupalabdhi? Anupalabdhi is, as per Vidyabhushana, he says that it is also not a distinct pramana, but rather variety of visual perception where the object's absence is perceived. So here also that I saw that pot yesterday, but it is not here. Means he already saw that pot, and today it is not available. Means he already seen that in the Pratyaksha Pramana, which is missing today. So now Anupalabdhi, understanding absence of something which he already saw, or he is telling that I saw that pot. So Pratyaksha already covered this Anupalabdhi. So this Vidyabhushan says Anupalabdhi is ruled out. This is how actually why Acharyas reduce all the logics to only 3. But actually logics are 8. 5 of these logics were removed, brought it to 3. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu removed other 2 also. He said only 1. So we are trying to understand the logic behind this logic of removing these logics. Anupalabdhi is gone. Next, Vidyabhushan talks about Sambhava. Knowledge about occurrence, which includes another occurrence. So this is also very clear. So Sambhava, he says, it is a special kind of Anumana, means it's an inference. Whether is right or wrong is a different thing. 100 includes 10. That is right or wrong is different. It is right. But it is coming for inference. We are not talking about whether it is correct or not correct. 100 includes 10. One example we have taken. It may be right, but this is already covered in Anuman because we are inferring that 100 includes 100. When I say 100, means I have 10 also. So Vidyabhushan says this pramana also is not relevant. Now, last pramana which he wants to remove is Aitihya pramana. He says knowledge obtained from tradition or belief whose original speaker is not remembered. So this is very clear. Like our predecessors, our forefathers, they told something and we are following. So means that they must have seen before, right? They must have seen before, and they're telling. So means that already covered by other pramanas in the past. So Aitihya pramana is nothing but a kind of sensory perception, means pratyaksha. So Aitihya pramana is already covered by pratyaksha pramana. That's why somebody's seen that and they're telling, and that the custom tradition is coming in parampara. That oh, someone had told, maybe right, maybe wrong, but one who is originated is presumed to be seen that either ghost living in this house or anything which any custom we follow, seeing a black cat when we are going on auspicious work. Maybe in the past someone had that experience, so he is telling to others that is how the custom is coming. So we see in villages today also so many customs they follow. So this is coming from what the predecessors, the forefathers, they were seen, and so I think here means this is already covered by Pratyaksha Pramana. So Vidyabhushan says this Pramana also is to be removed. So now left with only the 3. This is the opinion of Srila Madhvacharya. So followers of Madhvacharya, they believe Pratyaksha, Anumana and Shabda Pramanas, all the 3. So this was a kind of the new thing which I understood when I was reading Bhagavatamrita. So Madhvacharya followers, they believe in Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana, Shabda Pramana. All the 3 they follow. So this is opinion of Madhvacharya. Now question is, what is opinion of Lord Chaitanya and his followers? Why this has to be removed? This we heard from our during the days of our initial Krishna consciousness. Why Pratyaksha Anumana has to be removed. So we'll see that very briefly. So he says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana are not the logics, the proper logic. They are, all the 3 are okay, to understand anything which is in this material world. So what he says that it is okay for acquiring only ordinary knowledge, that is knowledge of this material world. For knowledge, understanding the knowledge of the material world, Pratyaksha Pramana, Anuman Pramana is okay, no issues. Because we read history in our school days, we read our history of independence that happened, and somewhere in the French war, French Revolution, all these things had happened. So somebody saw that, recording it, and we are reading it. So these are all okay for material understanding. So Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana is okay for material understanding. So they are inadequate for gaining access to the transcendental knowledge. So this is what followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Like our Prabhupada, why he is recommending only Shabda Pramana is that Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana, they are not good, not fit for understanding the transcendental knowledge. We cannot understand the Lord by inference. We cannot understand the Lord only by Pratyaksha Pramana. Because I didn't see the Lord, I don't believe him. I didn't see Krishna, I don't believe him. Then Krishna himself, I don't believe. Then where is the question of believing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his pastimes? Now we are discussing Caitanya Caritamrta. We just finished Adilila. We're trying to come to a conclusion. The essence of this wonderful scripture. It is not possible. We didn't see that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown his Shadbhuja form to his followers. We didn't see, but those who saw that, they recorded. Or those who heard. So Sukadeva Goswami was telling Srimad Bhagavatam Parishit Maharaj, and Parishit Maharaj didn't record it. He didn't record it and passed on. But heard, and that time Sukadeva Goswami was there. All the other sages. So he was telling to other sages, and there finally it has come to us through Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas. So Shabda Pramana is only authority in terms of acquiring knowledge of transcendental, which is the transcendental. So he says that Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana, they are inadequate for gaining access to the transcendental knowledge, being flawed by the four defects: delusion, limited perception, inattention, and dishonest. So because we are trying to use our senses, I can't see everything, so I can't believe. So Anumana Pramana, it is guess. The smoke is coming, maybe for some different reasons. We don't know. So not necessarily that fire has to be there, because what I see may be wrong because of a defect in my senses. So all these are factors beyond the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to eliminate Pratyaksha Pramana and Anumana Pramana. So one may see what he thinks is head of a person walking behind a wall, but the head may be an imitation intentionally designed to fool the viewer. So somebody is telling, oh, somebody is sitting behind this wall. So we start figuring it out. Yeah, some sound is coming behind the wall, means oh, somebody is there. But actually, maybe it is some water is dripping from the roof. So sound is coming behind this wall, but we think that somebody is there. So we start cooking up stories. Oh, somebody is there. Somebody is there hearing to our conversation. All these things we start cooking up. So that's why this Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana had to be eliminated, because they are based on the faulty senses. So Pratyaksha Anumana Pramana is gone, and also Pratyaksha Pramana also is eliminated by followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So even verbal authority is imperfect when received from less than perfect sources. It doesn't mean that Shabda Pramana is perfect all the time. Shabda Pramana becomes perfect only if it is received from an authority. Somebody is telling me, oh, I saw the king of the country is in the Lulu hypermarket today morning. So I can't believe. just because he is not an authority. It is not possible that king will come to Lulu hypermarket. So he said, I heard from somebody. So that definitely is not an authority. So authority means those who heard from the authorities and passing on that knowledge to us. So who is our authority is only scriptures. The scriptures, because this mentioned in the Brihat Aranyaka Upanishad that this indeed comprises the breadth of infinite supreme being, the Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvana Veda, Itihasa and Purana. So all these Puranas, all these Vedas, all these scriptures are coming directly from the Lord himself. They are coming from the breath of the Lord. So this is being told by scriptures. Brihat Aranyaka Purana, Upanishad talks about this. So because these the messages what we are getting from our scriptures are not written by somebody. They are compiled by Vyasadeva and other acharyas, but they are not written by them. Because no one has written. There is no basis. There is no beginning, not basis. There is no beginning for this. Because this was existing from time immemorial. Because these messages are coming directly from Supreme Lord. This is what Brihat Aranyaka Purana Upanishad says. They are coming from the breath of infinite Supreme Lord. So that is Shabda Pramana is propagated. That is the reason why Shabda Pramana is propagated by Caitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers. So to conclude this session, Bhakta Goshti Rahita Gauranga Jaya Jaya Sunile Chaitanya Kata Bhakti Labhya Haya. All glories to Gauranga with his devotees. By hearing topics about Lord Chaitanya, one attains devotional service. So this particular sloka is very important because we just concluded Caitanya Caritamrta Adilila. We heard of so many wonderful pastimes, wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, wonderful Maharajas also participated in giving their mercy to all of us about the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We heard his early pastimes in Adilila. So Ramananda Thakura is concluding his one that all the glories to Gauranga and his devotees. This is a Falasuti. By hearing topics about Lord Chaitanya, one attains devotional service. This is the assurance by Acharyas. Ramananda Thakura is none other than Srila Vyasadeva. He is giving assurance. Vyasadeva is none other than Supreme Lord, the literal incarnation of the Lord. So he is giving assurance to us that one who attentively hears the topics of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu attains devotional service. So this is the end of today's presentation. If you have any questions, comments, for a few minutes we can discuss. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Such an amazing class, Prabhuji. I have no comments, but it was a very excellent presentation and mood of presentation. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. It was
Hare
wonderful
Krishna.
class, Prabhuji, and really, it took us to the all philosophy and all the school of teaching. Just one thing, Prabhuji, I understand that Anumana is a bit difficult, but Pratyaksha also should be equal to Shabda, no, Prabhuji. Otherwise, why Lord take I will not say effort, but why Lord has to come every time here to show his pastime? This is a Pratyaksha he's showing. Or else he can sit in his place and then he can the devotees, the Parshad of Lord has seen him, like, they, and their Shabda is more than sufficient to understand. But still, Lord take an effort to come here every time and lifting every Dwapar Yuga, the Govardhana hill, all the pastimes what Lord wanted to do, doing Pratyaksha coming. So how can we say, Prabhuji, Pratyaksha is not required? I mean, it's just a
Thank you, Prabhu.
thought, Prabhuji.
Thanks. Thank you very much for a wonderful question. See, this is the reason why Pratyaksha was accepted by Madhvacharya and his followers. Because they, no, your question is perfect. It is right that Lord has come to this material world and did all these wonderful pastimes physically, and those who have seen that have recorded. That is fine. But what we are talking about is that every time, whatever we see may not be right from the perception of imperfect senses. And somebody has seen that and recorded that and telling us that already covered in Sabda Pramana. Since that's already covered in Sabda Pramana, so we are eliminating Pratyaksha Pramana. Pratyaksha Pramana may be faulty, but Shabda Pramana is already covers the Pratyaksha Pramana, the particular instance what you are saying. Lord has taken a birth. I didn't see. Lord has incarnated in this material world. I didn't see, but somebody has seen that and recorded it and telling me, I'm believing, means that I'm already following Shabda Pramana. Then why should I follow Pratyaksha Pramana again? Likewise, all the 8 Pramanas, by inference or all this, we started eliminating, eliminating one by one because it's already covered by some other Pramana. The same logic applies here. Shabda Pramana, we are believing what Acharyas have told us, because Acharyas is believing what their Acharyas have told us. So finally, somebody has seen it, like Vasudeva. So all during those times, he saw the passions of Krishna. So he saw that, and he himself is the Lord. So he has written Mahabharata, or he compiled Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are believing what we hear, because the scriptures are basically Shabda. Though today we have books with us, but basically they are coming from Shabda. Because when Vasudeva has told, no one has written that. It is coming in a parampara by only Shabda. So it means that when this Shabda already covered other two, there is no need of following that also. Because that also, when we follow separately, then we may lead to, we may be misguided, because everything what we see may not be right. But everything what we hear from an authority had to be right. That's why authority is highlighted here.
Yes. Yeah, agreed, Prabhuji. What you said is correct. What we see with our senses are also imperfect, so it may go wrong. Yeah, correct, Prabhuji. Yeah.
But
Thank
sometimes
you,
what we hear also may be imperfect, because hearing also is a sense. But here from authority makes a difference. There also authority may be there. But since this Pramana already covers that authority who has seen the Pratyaksha into this, so we don't have to follow that separately. So this covers. We are happy with the Shabda Pramana.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you for enlightening. Hare Krishna.
Any other questions, comments? So if there is no questions, comments, we'll conclude the session. Ritesh Prabhu, next week is who is that?
Girirani Mataji.
Girirani Mataji. Girirani Mataji next week will continue from. So Mataji, we are very eager to hear from you, Madhya Leela. So we intentionally deferred Madhya Leela to start from today, because many are coming back this week from yatras and vacation. So we want to give everyone an opportunity to participate. Hope they will participate. So we are giving a benefit of doubt and thought of deferring by a week. So we are very eager to hear from you next week, Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Mataji.
with all your blessings. Sure.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So I'll stop the live session. I have one announcement.